really good, just for folks to take a quick look, end out your year strong, set yourself up for success through the holidays. Sometimes that can be a challenge with extra things that you might want to buy and decorations and gifts and things like that. So thinking about those and starting to get your budget together is awesome. Okay, so I say let's just jump on in.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So thank you all for joining us again for our Wooten workshop. Today, we're going to be talking about budgeting with Miss Latrice McLaughlin. She is a community engagement officer with Connecticut Credit Union, and she's also a motivational speaker. With more than 25 years in community engagement, she has partnered with and supported hundreds of organizations throughout Northern and Southern California, including the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals, our center, Al Wooten Jr. Youth Center, Richstone Family Center, Volunteer Center of South Bay, Friendship Foundation, and the Stalven Meter Senior Center. From creating educational programs to spearheading numerous fundraisers, she's passionate about empowering youth, serving the aging population, and providing resources to underserved community. She currently sits on the board of directors for the Torrance Area Chamber of Commerce, Connecticut Community Foundation, and the Manhattan Beach Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for being here with us. And with that, I will turn it over to you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. It is my pleasure to be here with all of you and to get a chance to dive into and talk about budgeting. And so I see that everyone is on mute, which is great. But it's a small enough group that I think we can make it interactive. So if you are able to, hey there, Miss Regina, if you are able to do a little bit of talk back with us, or we certainly do have the chat line open. So if there's any information, questions that you have, I think I want to start out with the question. And if folks might be able to just send me a quick message in the chat and let me know what you're hoping to get out of the budgeting seminar for tonight. What are you hoping to get out of the budgeting seminar? Give me a quick minute.
You're talking about budgeting.
Yep, we're talking about budgeting.
That's me telling my 17-year-old daughter.
Oh, oh yeah, she needs to be on this call for sure. Hi, Tamika. Okay. Okay, good. Good tips for my son. Yep, good stuff coming in. How about Mr. Ross? You want to give us some thoughts or?
Yeah, I'm putting it in. Give me a second.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, good thoughts. Okay, yeah, excellent. So we're getting some good thoughts that are rolling in. Budgeting tips for uncertain times, college budgeting, good tips for your son, good. Sticking to your budget, getting started with grad school, saving for books, saving for college, all good things. Thank you guys for sharing tips for investing. I don't know, Ms. Carol, if we will have a lot of tips in regards to investing, but we do have some modules that we can point you back to, or if that's an area of interest for the group, we can come back and do a seminar on it. But thank you guys for sharing with me. What are you thinking about? What are you looking to get from tonight? So as we go through it, when we get to areas that kind of touch on what you're looking to do, we can be sure to camp out on those for just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. All right. When you can see it, can you give me a thumbs up so I know you can see my screen? Okay, good deal. All right, so budgeting, creating a budget, and then we're just giving some thoughts here. So as we go through the modules for tonight, They'll be shown here, and we'll also send you a link with the module, as it does have some examples in that you can plug your own numbers in with some of the different exercises. And so we'll have that available for you guys after we end tonight. But in thinking about creating a budget, these are just some things. Have you ever run out of money before the end of the month, right? Determine your monthly income and expenses to create a budget so that you know where your money is going instead of wondering where it went. And so for some folks, I might be, yep, right on the money. And other folks might be like, ouch, yes, I get that. And so I saw a couple of thoughts from you guys in regards to thinking about savings, thinking about your budget, having some tools to be able to save for things that you're doing. And so here's some just quick thoughts of why have a budget? For one, it reveals what we call budget busters. And so those might be things that you're spending money on, you don't even necessarily recognize how quickly your money is going. I don't drink coffee, so I always pick on the Starbucks people. I apologize in advance, but I was helping a woman with her budget several years ago, and she was looking for ways to save money. And so she didn't have a budget. And so one of the things I suggested to her, which I'll suggest to you guys as well, is she started to save every receipt from her spending. She just dumped it into a big manila envelope over the course of about 2 weeks. Every receipt. Or if it's some electronic receipts that you don't get a physical paper receipt, writing it on that same envelope. At the end of the 2 weeks, she came back in to see me. We dumped all the receipts out and started making a spreadsheet of what her spending looked like. What we discovered was she was spending about $5 and a little bit of change almost every day, Monday through Friday. Come to find out, that was her stop at Starbucks to get her Starbucks coffee. And I don't know all the fancy things. Again, I don't drink Starbucks coffee, but that and a bagel every single day. And so if you think about that, that is a budget buster. 5 days a week for at $5 a pop, $25. $25 times 4 weeks is $100. $100 times 12 months, $1,200 that was going and being spent on coffee. And so you might have things like that you are spending money on, but it's just a little expense, a little here, a little there. But if you add it up over the course of time, it could be pinching into your budget. Okay, let's see. Okay, another thing is it provides direction. It can give you the big picture of what it is that you are doing, how to set your priorities for your spending. We were just sharing about coworkers, little people and four-legged people that might be in your home. And so just thinking about other ways that you might be spending your money. What line items do you have? Let's get some direction. Gives you some education. Teaches you to use money as a tool. Again, that first comment talked about planning where you're going versus wondering where it went. Creating a new habit. You know, it says it takes about 3 weeks in order to form a habit. And so if we start now, before the holidays get here, we can be in the new habit with your new spending. Reduction of stress. Money is a huge stressor. So when you think about not having power, not being empowered with where your dollars are going, that can cause you stress. A couple of folks talked about saving for college and having emergency savings, different things like that. That is a lot of stress. If, especially in this time that we're in, some of your household budgets may have been decreased because of a furlough, because of a layoff, because of less hours, given the pandemic that we're in. And so being able to adjust your budget can take away some of the stress. Okay, let's take a look. How do you decide what you spend your money on? So if we can take a quick minute and share with me a couple of items that might be line items for you that are needs. What is a need? Samples of what needs might look like for you guys. And Miss Tracy, you might have to share those with me. I can, in the view that I'm in, I can't see the chat function. Okay. Okay. Anybody sharing what a need
Sorry.
might be?
Rent, gas, electric bills. I'm with you, Miss Regina. I must have a pedicure once a month, actually every other week.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so then let's switch that. What about a want? And as you guys are typing these in, so we should talk about the fact that money and your relationship with the money is going to be different for every single person. And so Ms. Regina put in there that having her pedicure is a need. Other folks may look at that and go, that is not a need, but it's your own personal relationship with money. And when you know what a need is for you and a want is for you, then you will have a much more powerful budget. Because if you feel like it's a need, you're going to spend the money to do it. So any ideas in regards to wants?
Let's see, hair, nails, outings, more time, material things, travel, but not now. Let's see. Someone says, I want my hair done, but I don't get it done anymore.
Yeah. Excellent.
Shopping. Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you guys again. But again, needs and wants definitely are things to take a quick look at, you know, definition wise. Our information here is sharing. A need is something that is necessary for basic living. Well, who is to say what is necessary for your basic living? That's something that you have got to decide. Want is something that makes life more comfortable or enjoyable. Again, left up to you. What do you feel like that is for you? And then as you start drawing those lines, that will help you with your budget. All right. And so then they get some ideas of a prepaid phone for emergencies. Your rent definitely is a need. A prepaid phone could go either way, could be a need or a want. Groceries, a need. Someone said electricity. Your dream car, we'll say it's a want for now. The latest smartphone, cable television, depends what you're using it for, and eating out. And so again, we will send this link out to you guys if you want to go through some of these or share them with your children or as folks in your family to help them to figure out their budgets as well. But again, distinguishing between needs and wants for yourself, for your life, for your family is definitely a way to really help you not only to create a budget, but to be able to maintain it. So those of you that have partners on this call, this is being able to talk through a budget, especially if you guys are living together. I would highly suggest you taking a look at a budget for things that you're working together with on your household or things that you share an interest in, creating a budget, understanding how each other works. And so for myself, someone said hair. Hair is a need for me. Listen, I will give up some food to get my hair done. But it is, I also know how to cook. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to eat out for the next week if I can get into a hair salon. And thank goodness they have opened back up. But for me, that's how I work. And so if I don't go to get my nails done, but I can get my hair done, I'm okay. But others may disagree. Miss Regina has already put it out there. It is a need for her. We respect that. We honor that. But that's just knowing who you are and knowing how you spend, and then those that you share this budget with, this is also crucial for you to know. Here is another example. And so as you guys get these back, you can plug your numbers in to see what happens. So, okay, we're back to this coffee again, right? We don't necessarily have a toll here unless you have that little transponder box. I can't think of what it's called.
Fast pass.
A fast pass. And so you have a fast pass. This may be something that you're adding in. Okay, if folks eat fast food, anybody want to share in the chat? How many times a week do you eat fast food or have to buy it for your kids in a week? Anybody? You think? Okay, I have not hearing anything. So let's say 4 times.
It says, yeah, 4 times, 3 to 5, 2 to 3. Someone,
Okay.
Miss Regina, we just ordered tonight. Miss Regina is our troublemaker here in this class.
That's it. You know, she's our friend. So that, you know, that's what your friends do to you. That's all right. So here is a budget buster, ATM fees. So if you have an account and you're not using an ATM that allows you free transactions, this can be a very easy way to see your money just going away, honestly. So let's say it's two times a week, and then car share. And so that could be something like, it says only $6, but car share for us these days would be like your Uber, your Lyft, and different things like that. And so let's say maybe twice a week, submit. And again, these are, did it take it? No. Oh, I think I have to put something in each one. There we go. Okay, so by placing these in, you can get an idea of where you're at. So $65 and $65.75 a week, $263 a month, $3,419 a year. And so again, that's what I just want to stress to you guys. In our house, we have a saying that every dollar has an assignment. So any monies that we get, we try to take a look at them and to see where will it go. So and savings is an assignment, you know, but you know, how much money are we, I happen to be married. How much money do we spend on dates? How much money are we spending on food? How much money are we spending on gas? And the list goes on. And then if there's extra monies, we figure out where is that going to go? Okay, we're going to put that in savings. We're going to put that in travel. We actually have a Christmas club. And so we decide together how much money we want to spend for Christmas at the top of the year. And then we back into it. And so every paycheck, there's 26 paychecks per year. And then we put that much money divided by 26. And that's how much we automatically have going into our savings account. And so just a tip, just something to think about, ways that you can save. And so my students that are on the line that we're talking about, how can I save for my books? How can we do those different things? That's one way that you can think about it. How much does it cost? Let's back into it. And then can I afford to save that much? How in whatever increments, per paycheck, per month. And then that could be one way that you could do it without it being so painful. Okay. And so here's some little tips that you just might find interesting. The average household spends $850 per year just on soda. And so if you think about that and you think about, you know, do you buy soda? Do you buy, you know, just little things like that. It says, while adults spend $435 a year on alcohol. And so I don't know who they're surveying. I don't know how many people were in the survey, but just an idea of things for you to think about and do simple calculations on. All right, here's one. Take your lunch. If lunch costs you $6.75 per day, you can save $70,000 over your career. And so when you think about, you know, $70,000, when you're spending it $6.75 at a time, you're certainly not thinking that's how much that's adding up. But again, budget busters. What are some things, and maybe let's have a quick discussion in the chat. What are some things that you have that you right away, when I said a budget buster and when I shared about it, you thought about some things that you know every week you spend a little bit here and it could get away from you. Anybody feel open enough to share that?
Amazon.
Budget. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Retail therapy right now, right? Yeah. Amazon. How easy, right? They make it so easy to get in there, to go on, we're just buying a little something. It'll be here tomorrow. It'll be here
Exactly.
today. And you get it, and how many times you get it, it doesn't fit. You don't send it back. Little things like that. What else? That was a very good one. Anyone else? Budget busters.
Dollar Tree and 99-cent store.
Absolutely, right? Because it's just $1. Oh my goodness. But $10 later, $25 later, because it was just $1. So what are some things that we can do? Anyone else? I don't want to miss.
Buying unnecessary items that are on sale.
Yes, sales items.
Or maybe even in that same vein, Costco or Sam's Club, you have to get this huge thing that you only need one for, but you buy it because they said it's on sale.
That's right. That's right. And then you think about it. How much comes to your door? How much comes to your inbox encouraging you to make the purchase? Buy now. I know we are travelers, and so I have all of these travel sites that I'm signed up for, and so now they are going bananas. By Thursday, buy now, and it's only X amount, and so you're like, oh my goodness, we should probably buy tickets right now. And so it's like, who is flying? No one is flying right now. There's no need to buy that ticket. But if you are get pulled into the marketing, you could. So one thing that you can decide is to do the research. Do the research on the item that you're looking for before you go to the store. Go to the store with a list. Stick to the list when you get to the store, even if it's Target. That's the hard one. Stick to the list. Anyone else have a good idea of how you can create your list and get to the store and stay just to that? Anybody have a fail safe? One of mine is take my husband. My husband does not like to go in the stores shopping a lot. And so if I take him and tell him, oh, here's what we came to get. If I try to divert and go anywhere else, he's like, we didn't come here for that. Why are we looking over here? And so as to not have to hit a bump in the middle of the store, then I go ahead and go, yeah, you're right. Okay.
That's a good point. I do the same thing. I go to the store for the family, and we have a template list that we made years ago that just have the basics. And if it's not on the list, I don't even look at it anymore. It's just listen it. And sometimes my wife still get mad at me, like, why didn't you get this? I'm like, hey, it wasn't on the list.
There you go. I like that. Great input. So create a list and decide to stick to the list. Anyone else?
The other thing that's worked for me is that I go to the store, especially like Costco, maybe 30 minutes before they close. So I only have a limited amount of time to shop.
Excellent.
And that's worked well for me.
Excellent. That is a great point. So the store kicks you out. I like that. Excellent. Anyone else?
Let's see. Order ahead and just pick up groceries.
Excellent.
Only take a certain amount of money.
Ah, that's a good one. Good one. You might try, so one tip my sister does is she actually orders her groceries online. So she doesn't even go to the store. She orders her groceries online, they get delivered to her door, and that's it. So if she didn't get it, not gonna get it. And so lots of little things that you guys can do. Also, one thing that you can think about is what is important to you? Is it cash or is it the card? Like for me, I cannot carry cash because I spend it. Cash has no accountability for me. A credit card, or, you know, back in the days when we had to write checks, if I have to sign my name to it, something about my values, that means something to me. And so I will hold the line up to double check my receipt, to make sure everything is on there, because I just signed my name. And so knowing how you are with money, or what tender makes a difference to you, that could also be one. And so now when I go, if I am going to go purchase something, I go purchase it with my credit card. So I have to sign for it. Now, I don't take cash, because guaranteed $20 is going to be lost somewhere and I couldn't tell you where it went. And so that might be another thing to think about. Okay, where does my money come from? And so if you take a list here, look here at this list, you have gross, you have net, you have discretionary. And so as you think about it, gross is all of it, everything. So the way I remember this, gross, net, discretionary, gross is everything. Discretionary is the money that you have left after all of your bills. So it's your discretion. What do you want to do with it? The net is what catches it. So after that, you know, the taxes are taken out, other deductions are taken out, the net is actually what you can use to create your budget. Then you know your needs and your wants. Then you get a chance to see, okay, what discretionary income am I using? And so again, your net. And that's a big thing to teach, especially to your children. They go get a job, the job's paying $15 an hour, they work for 10 hours, they are not going to get $150. Even though simple math says that's what it should be, but really helping them to understand taxes. And then of course, when you start your career, there's other deductions that come out as well. And so here is an exercise for us. And if you guys want to give me some thoughts about some of these expenses, we can fill this in together. And they can be any numbers just to fill this out. Anybody have thoughts in regards to salary or wages, alimony, public assistance? You seeing anything, Tracy?
Sorry, I was
Did I lose
muted.
Oh,
Yeah, my computer dropped off and I had to come back in. Sorry. Cash is real
Oh.
money. Cards just seem unlimited. So it's still talking about the other topic.
okay. So
Nothing on
let's,
salary or wages.
nothing on salary. Okay, so let's just take a stab here. I don't have children. I'm not sure about alimony. Anyone have thoughts about alimony? Public
Child
assistance,
support,
child support.
let's see, about $1,000.
1,000.
That might not go too well with your salary or your wage, though.
Right. All right, let's make this 4. All right. Social Security, income property rental, military pay. All right, just plug in a couple numbers here, just so we can see how the calculation works. I think with some of these, you literally have to put something in every one. This may be the same. 0. And you guys will have this if you want to plug your real numbers in. Then let's say you got a side hustle. Okay, retirement income, ability. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, as you plug the numbers in, and just so you know, for these exercises, if you decide to do them yourselves, you have to put something in each one. And so then that gives us $5,600. And then it gives you a tip at the bottom. What if you don't get paid every month? So if you might be a teacher, that might be a reality for you. You may not get paid every month. So it says add up your income from the last year and then divide that by 12. And then that's what you can use for your basic budget. And so all kinds of ways. Everyone's budget is going to look very, very different. because everyone makes different amounts of money. And then of course, if you have a small business like Ms. Regina, then you have other income, other expenses. And so you may have to figure out your budget, or you may have two budgets, one for your business, one for your personal or your family. Great. All right. And so here is a sample of what you can use. There is a small video that goes along with it. We won't watch the video just for purposes of time, because we want to make sure we can get to Ms. Regina as well. But basically the calculator 50, 30, 20 is what you take a look at, and it breaks down into the same conversation we've been having. So and all of these are suggestions. As you're taking a look at your budget, putting your budget together, it may not streamline in this exact same way. That is no problem. We're working on it. We'll continue to work on it. But these are some suggestions. The suggestion is that 50% of your income would be taking care of your needs. And so you guys were kind enough to help us point that out before. Your rent, your housing, your electricity, your gas. 30% would be on your wants. Those are more your personal desires, your clothing, hobbies, eating out, gym membership. And then 20% is on your savings and your debt. And so it says you should always make at least the minimum payment on all debts. But if you have additional money to spend in this category, you could use it to aggressively pay down debt or to add to your savings. And so some of you guys there may have heard Dave Ramsey. He has a budgeting system that he uses. And this is one of the tips that he shares, is that you're paying your minimum, and the one that has the largest interest, any extra monies, you dump it on that, and it kind of creates a snowball. Once say you have 5 organizations or debtors that you're paying off, you kind of pound on the one, then you take the amount you were paying for that one and you push it to the lower one. And then you pound on that, you take the monies you were paying for the largest one, the second largest one, and then you put it on the next. And so it creates kind of a snowball effect of the way that you're paying off your debt. Pay yourself first by funding your savings account. Save for emergencies and both short and long-term goals. And so thank you guys initially for just sharing some of the things you're looking to do, some of the things you're looking to do with your budget. This is one idea that you can save and have emergency savings. Again, with the Dave Ramsey method, they suggest that you have $1,000 set aside for cash. So if you have an emergency, you pay for your emergency with that money. And so by being able to pay for it with $1,000, it covers most emergencies that you would have. That would cover your flat tire. That would cover, your broken windshield. That would cover, some of your smaller things. So then you don't have to put it on a credit card and get charged extra interest, or you don't have to borrow from people or different things like that. So just a different idea, a different tip. Okay, any questions so far? Anybody stuck? Anybody have a question for me on things that we have already covered? No? All right, no worries, just checking in. Okay, if you do, feel free to drop it in the chat. All right, so tracking your expenses. It's important to track your expenses to get a clear idea.
There was a question in the chat.
Oh, okay. You see a
Where?
question, Ms. Tracy? Thank you, Ed.
No. Unless Mike, oh, sorry. Is there a tool for kids on this? Thanks, Ed.
Thank you, Ed. A tool for kids in regards to budgeting. None that I have tested just yet. I know that there are a few that have come up. I know that Will Smith, actually, I saw some marketing for children's savings that he was doing. I can't offer thoughts on it. I've not tested it yet, but it was an app, and I want to say it's still forthcoming, but it was very popular. It was getting some good reviews. And I'm trying to see if I can Google it really quick.
Tracy says Dave Ramsey used to have one.
Oh, Dave Ramsey has one. I know he has some kind of system for, I want to say, teenagers. One of our schools partners does use Dave Ramsey for the teenage program. I have done the adult program and found it very good. But yeah, so it's what I'm finding is Will Smith invests in an app that helps teens with financial literacy. And so I don't know more about that, but yeah, thank you for whomever gave us the tip in regards to Dave Ramsey. I know there's also, we have a partner that has a platform called Biz Kids, B-I-Z Kids. And so maybe we can put that in the chat for you guys or get a link to send with our follow-up as well. So those are great. We do sessions for the school age students as well with several of our high schools. And so if that's something you'd like for us to host for you guys, for your students, we'd be happy to do that. All right. It's important to track your expenses. And so here's a couple of different ideas in regards to tracking. So notebook and a pencil, easy as that. You know, if you're a person that still likes paper, there's nothing wrong with it. Notebook and a pen. And what I usually do is on the left side of my paper, and I do this actually in Excel, even though I am a paper person. On the left side of my paper, I put all of my line items. So we'll have our rent, gas, utilities. Actually, I have a hair line item for hair. My husband has a line item for the barbershop. But then all of the other items are there. At the very top on the right, we put the amount of money that we have for the month. And then right under that, we put all of the expenses for the line item. And at the bottom on the right, we just create a formula to do the math. Take that monthly amount and deduct all of the line items and tell me what we have left. So these are one and the same to me. If you're a paper person, then you'll have the piece that you can write there. For a spreadsheet, for me, it makes formulas really easy. Does anyone have an online app that they use for their budgeting or they might use for savings that you can share with us?
I use something, it's called Bill, B-I-L-L Minder.
Okay.
And that's kind of like the whole paper method. I've had it for a few years and it seems to work for me versus writing it down on paper.
Oh, good. Can you put that in the chat for everyone in case someone might be interested? Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else use an app or online software that helps?
Someone has Dave Ramsey's Every Dollar Mint.
Oh, Every Dollar Mint. I'm a Dave Ramsey fan, so it definitely, yeah. Just someone, can you come off mute and let us know how that works? The Dave Ramsey comment?
Yes, I can. Those are two separate apps, by the way. One is called Every Dollar, that's Dave Ramsey. And then the other app for budgeting is Mint. So Dave, the Every Dollar app kind of works the way you were describing, how every dollar you earn has a job and is assigned somewhere. So you'll start out with your income and you will set aside and you'll create all of these categories that you mentioned, you know, from hair down to even your debt. And you assign your income, every dollar, to something. It could even include savings. So until you get to zero.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure, you're welcome.
Anyone else? So these are good. Mint, Every Dollar, Bill Minder. Very good. All right, let's see. Okay, there's also the envelope method. We used this method when we first got married. And so it is literally taking an envelope for each item that you will be paying out. And for us, we would write the name of it on the front of the item. So date, night, gas, electricity, bills. And we had almost like those little receipt boxes that your mom or grandma may have had when you were growing up. And we literally would put the mini envelopes in those. When we got paid, my husband would go he would cash out our checks and then bring all the monies home and put it into those envelopes. Then whenever we wanted to do whatever that particular thing was, you took out the envelope and that's the money you could spend on it. So just another idea. And then when the cash is gone, that's it. So, you know, it's a little, definitely keeps you honest because, you know, sometimes if you want to swipe a card or something else, you could fudge that a little bit or get past that point. But if you're on a pretty stringent budget, then that might be something that you might want to consider. All right, we are wrapping up here. Okay, key points about creating a budget. All right, eliminate your budget busters. And so you guys were kind enough to share what some of those budget busters were at the top of our session tonight. Beware of lifestyle creep. As you earn more income, don't spend more money. So think about the things that you are doing. Set your budget on how much that is or what it is that you're looking towards or whatever it is that you need. And then you can decide other things. Put that money into your savings, put it into, you know, things you may have upcoming. But making sure that you are living within your means. That I just think of some of these phrases just make me think of my grandmother. She would say things like that. All right, you got to live within your means. Yeah. And so thinking about exactly how much you're making, how much you'd like to spend, using tools like the 50-30-20 rule, just good ideas and good tips. Tracking your expenses, calculating your spending categories, and then making decisions about them. And then, of course, having your tools and the methods that you're going to use for your spending. I will also add in here, having open lines of communication with those at whom with you share a budget. Like for us, I am married, so my husband and I are both spending monies in our household. And so on some things, we pool our monies together. And so having an open line of communication of how that's going to be spent definitely can make you feel empowered, can take away some stress, and really give you some clear direction on what it is and how you're spending your hard-earned money. All right, so next steps. All right, so I'd like for you guys to, hi, go ahead.
All right, Miss Catherine says looking out for lifestyle creep is a great tip as well.
Yeah, because as you make more, then yeah, you want to spend a little more. So now I want you guys to share out in the chat, or if you want to come off mute and share with us, what's one thing you're going to take away? What's one thing from what we've learned that you're actually going to start to apply? And here are just some ideas here. Set aside some time to do your budget, to list all of your expenses, and even thinking about things that are occasional. And so you think about things like your car insurance. You may not pay your car insurance every month. It may come out once every 6 months. Or thinking about birthdays, if you celebrate birthdays, holidays that you may celebrate, any monies that might go along with that. Thinking about your children. What are they doing? Are they in a sport? Do they have a craft? Do they have, you know, a shoe fetish that they want you to purchase for them? Doing the math, regularly tracking your spending, but then most importantly, being patient with your process. So I'm opening it up for you guys. You share back with me. What's one thing that you're going to take away and begin to help your budgeting process starting tomorrow?
So Miss Shana says, set aside time to do my budget.
Excellent, Miss Shana. I'm glad to hear that.
Miss Catherine, make a regular appointment to do the budget monthly.
Very good. That's awesome. Really good.
Miss Regina, 50-30-20 rule actually on paper.
you know, when you write things down, right? You write them down, or if you have an accountability partner. And so that's what I'm saying. Those of you that may share a budget, talking about it, having some clear communications is a bit of accountability that can help you stay on track there. Great, thank you.
Miss Carol says, get all family members to write down their spending and saving goals. And then
Yes,
Tracy, regularly track my spending. I don't do it often.
excellent. All of those really great ideas. And again, writing them down, taking a look at them can really help you to hold those budgets because you may make decisions about them, but then you have kids, or then you have a spouse, or then you have, you know, other expenses that might be coming your way. And if you don't include those in your budget, then it's really frustrating because you've spent your time and you're like, but how, why am I still off by $60? What is going on? But just thinking about that and holding them to it, holding everybody in the house accountable for what's happening. And maybe you guys can create some kind of reward that, you know, if we as a household save this much money, we can do this thing, or, you know, we can celebrate in this type of way. And so just different things that can make it fun and exciting. Anybody else?
And then Ed says, include frivolous spending into the budget as much as possible.
It is true. Very good. So if you're just thinking, okay, we're just gonna set aside, you know, a percentage that whatever it is we might like to do, or even make it a line item, miscellaneous, and put it in there, because miscellaneous always comes around, no matter what, as well planned as it can be. You know, like for instance, for us, my sister is a consultant for the military in Germany. But when the pandemic happened, they got kicked out. And so she ended up coming and staying with us for a couple of months, which we hadn't anticipated. And so there were extra expenses that went along with that. And so, you know, good thing we had money set aside, and of course, completely happy to see her. But miscellaneous line item got used for the last 2 months because we had a house guest that we did not expect. And so things like that are happening, things like that have happened. And so as you're thinking about it, this is a really important time just to take care of your own, yourself, you know, and this can be a great part of self-care as well. So thank you guys so much. Am I missing anything else from the chat?
Miss Regina says, OMG, the frivolous spending is big lots for her.
Budget buster. You have to call it something that'll make you stop. Budget buster. Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate the time that Tracy and I have had to come and touch base with you, to talk with you a little bit today in regards to your budget. And we look forward. We are a friend of Al Wooten, so always here for you guys. This is the second time we've done that. I think about 2 months ago, we were here. And so if there's other items, other topics you'd like us to talk about, I think it was Miss Carol that asked about investing. And so if that's something we want to come back and do, let us know. We'll be happy to do that. First time home buyer, any financial topics that you're interested in, let us know. And we'll send some information your way. We'll send a survey to Miss Naomi for everyone that was on the call today. But I am going to stop our presentation here, and I am excited to hear from Miss Regina. And so not sure if you're self-introducing or if Miss Rebecca's introducing you.
If
but
it's okay with you, Miss Gina, I would love to introduce you and do a brief introduction of our wonderful parent and business owner and PTA mom and speaker and all of the above. Miss Regina Creighton, or Gina to her most recent friends and fans, is a Southern California native, nationally recognized speaker, published author, radio personality, and host of Get It Done with Gina Radio on the After Party West Radio, and #1 booked social media correspondent. She is also the owner and creative director of Gina Cuisine Cupcakes, an online cupcake boutique. Gina prides herself on balancing the rigors of actively running 2 small businesses, being a sought-after motivational speaker, host, MC, PTA mom, and grandmother, or Gigi Ma, is that right? As her grandbabies affectionately named her in place of grandma. So with that, thank you so much for joining us again for another presentation. And Ms. Latrice, do you mind making her host so she could share her screen? Thank you.
She did the host. Thank you, Miss Rebecca. Thank you, Miss Latrice, Miss Tracy, and all the parents. Thank you so much for allowing me to share with you guys. And even before I get started with this presentation, I actually started a new business. It's not a side hustle anymore. So I've recently launched my virtual tax firm, tax and accounting. So, you know, I just want to share with you guys off the top, even though we are in a pandemic situation and, you know, it's a lot going on, you can still have a lot going on in a positive manner. So just because everything is going on around us doesn't mean that we still can't, you know, put our best foot forward and to, you know, make things happen, because it's times like these that we really have to show up and, you know, do something different to have a different result. So now I have multiple businesses. Now I'm gonna really need my hair done. But what I want to share with you guys, if you weren't here the last time, it is just a quick presentation on my cupcake company. Cupcake company started 25 years ago, and I always gauge that on my daughter's age. She's 24 in med school, and I started it actually the year before I had my daughter. And not really because I wanted to start a business, but I started it out of a need. I was single, I wasn't married, I was going on vacation for a week, found out that I had 3 weeks available. I'm like, hey, why not take the 3 weeks? But being single and not married, I should have had the money to do that, but I didn't, because I wasn't budgeting, I wasn't living in the correct order, and I just didn't have the money to do it. So a girlfriend suggested that, you know, I start to cook and bake and all that kind of stuff. And so I did, and it worked. And it turned into a business like on accident, but it's been going for a very long time. Just a couple years ago, maybe like 5-6 years ago, I really took it seriously. And I really, really love it. And I love being a business owner. I really do. My company is, I'm going to try to share my screen. I'm going to try. I think this is it. I don't know. Let me see. Hit share. Okay. So I think that's it. Okay. So this is the company, Gina's Cuisine Cupcakes, an online cupcake boutique. We do service locally in the Los Angeles area, but I have a lot of clients that I actually ship my product to across the nation. Not necessarily cupcakes, because the USPS just doesn't like to ship cupcakes, but they mess up. But we do offer cupcakes in the jars, cookies, brownies, and all that good stuff. So in addition to serving people that are near me, I serve people that I have never seen before, and it's really, really a good thing. I've told you about the decision, the pitfalls of the company. You have to do everything. When you're first starting, you are everything. I am marketing, I am the chef, I am social media, I am mom, I am wife, I am all those things at the same time. So it's really a serious work, life, career, business balance that you have to do. And it gets to be hectic very, very often. Branding, I just told you guys, I'm marketing all the time. The social effect, I do my own social media all the time. So those are the things that I do within the company. There it is. The company was started out of a fund to extend a vacation. I use my God-given talents. Whatever God has given you that you're really, really good at, that's exactly what you should be doing. I knew that I could cook. I knew that I could bake. And so this is the talents that I use. I really wanted to go into business for myself, but before I went into business for myself, I worked a full-time job. I worked for Superior Court for 25 years, and all of Superior Court, like maybe 6 different branches, were my customers and my clients. So I really worked my 9 to 5, and I worked my dream job that I wanted to do, would go to work all day long, come home, bake, and stay up to maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, get up and be at work at 8 o'clock again, and slinging cupcakes and cookies on break and lunch all the time. So I made it happen the best way that I could. What's this next one? We went into the pitfalls. I'm a busy wife, mom, caretaker of a family. Wasn't sure that I could start a business at home, but hey, everybody starts at home. Microsoft started at home, Apple started at home, some in the garage, some in the kitchen, some in the bedroom, some at the kitchen table. So it doesn't matter where you are, just make it happen where you are and with whatever it is that you have. And then you'll grow as you go along the way. This one I really do want to touch on. I did not receive a lot of support from my family. My husband didn't support me. My dad didn't support me. Of course, I had one child at the time. She was small, so she had no choice but to support me. But my family really didn't support me, and that did bother me, but I didn't let it stop me.
There you
So,
go. That's
you
what I
know,
was just telling you, Dita.
right, when you start a business, you may not get that support from family, you may not get it from friends, but it's okay because God gave you the vision and he didn't give it to the other people.
Mhm.
So whatever he gave you, you go forward with that. And I guarantee you, when you start to really get into it and you start to make it, everybody's gonna be like, oh, Tracy's my cousin, Miss Latrice is my aunt, you know, Miss Tracy is whatever. Everybody's gonna want to claim you at that time, but just do you and just keep going. Don't let the non-support stop you.
Right. There you go.
Yeah. What makes my brand stand out is that I do everything online. I was doing it online before the pandemic came. My daughter, I mentioned before, my daughter's 24. She's a part of my marketing team because what do I tell my kids all the time? This is a business. They say that all the time. Mommy, we know this is a business. My daughter's job is to help me with social marketing. She doesn't necessarily post for me, but I send her care packages. And what does she have to do in return? She has to go on her Instagram account and she has to do an unboxing. She has to do a review. She has to do a showing. And how does that help me? I have all of the East Coast buying from me because they've seen my daughter. And some of them aren't even friends with my daughter, but they may be friends of hers. And so I have a lot of people that come on to me in that manner. So I stand out because I do put myself out in front. You know, I'm not afraid to be in front of the camera. You can tell I talk a lot, right? Because I haven't stopped yet. But I push my business out there. You know, a lot of times I just, you know, I may be in a basic conversation and then it comes up because if no one knows about you, how can they support you? You have to tell people what it is that you do and how you do it. Let's see what's here. What's this next one? Did I click it? Okay, there it is. Social distancing. I mean, keep it social, even through social distancing. This is Miss April. Miss April is down in San Diego. April and I have never, ever met in person before, not even one time. But April ordered from me. She's ordered from me multiple times. And April did her own video and her own posting on her Instagram and on her Facebook account. So this is social proof. You're not just hearing it from me about Gina's Cuisine Cupcakes, but you're actually hearing it from people who support you. So when you start your business, of course, everyone will want to hear it from you, but they want to hear it from someone else. They want to hear it from that third party. So again, you know, never be afraid to tell people what you do and never, you know, be afraid to tell people, you know, if you love it, let somebody know. If you don't, let me know. Okay, so there's the social distancing through and with the social proof. Here's my daughter, Anaje. This is a screenshot of her doing one of her unboxings. I think she has a salted caramel cupcake here. This is her job. Use everything and everyone.
Cupcake in a jar, Dita.
Yes, the cupcakes in a jar because we can't ship the regular cupcakes, but it's the same thing, but it's even more in a jar. So you get more in a jar. So this is Anaje doing what she does. So here it says, use everything and everyone that is willing to help you. So she wants the care boxes. She wants money in her Chase account. This is your job from Chicago. And she's in Chicago. And my son, he's 13. He, a lot of times, if you've ever seen any of my videos, he's the one behind the camera. If I'm not holding it in my hand, because sometimes he's doing schoolwork, or when school was in, he was at school. If you ever see it zooming in close or whatever, because he's behind the camera, that's his job. Let's see what's here. Supplies. I mentioned in the chat that I do a lot of Amazon shopping, but it's really not for me. It is for the business most of the time. About 85% of the time, it is for the business, and because I use whatever's convenient for me. There are a lot of suppliers locally that I could go to, but if I don't have to utilize my time and I can put it somewhere else, then I'll do that, and I'll order to have it shipped to the door. All kind of supplies have shipped to the door because it saves me time and lets me do what I do best. What we offer is fun to me. Cupcakes is fun to me. It never seems like a job to me because I love it. Even though, you know, sometimes I get bogged down, sometimes I'm up all night, you know, people are waking up in the morning and I haven't gone to sleep. That's fun to me because I'm doing what I love. So do what you love and it will be fun to you, whatever it is. Let's see, this one, just things that we offer in the website. These are cupcakes actually with my logo. I actually did a corporate account last week. And the lady said, you know what? I've been watching you for about 5 years. 5 years she's been watching me and she never ordered, but she finally did. And she was so satisfied. So that was like super special to me. We do private events. This here is an event that I do every December. Don't know how it's going to work this year because it has to be online, but I do a charity event every year and I donate about 200 pieces to this company every year. And it is my way of giving back. You know, I don't look at it as, you know, I'm spending money on ingredients and I'm getting paid for this. I know that it helps their charity. And so this is what I do. So whatever it is that you do that you love, make sure you find a way to give back. And this is me giving back. And I do it every December. And I think I've been doing it for the past 6 years with this particular company. They feed the homeless every Wednesday. And then in December, they have their anniversary and they raise money. And so I'm there to support. And the reason that I started with them is because one of their sweet makers fell out at the last minute. She couldn't do it. So someone knew that I had a business and they called me, and I've been their sweet maker ever since. So sometimes you may not be, you know, picked for the job, but you may get the job haphazardly and, you know, just go ahead and do it. This is another thing that we offer, birthday in a box, which I think is really, really good. Just, you know, I'm always trying to come up with new, innovative things to do for the company. So birthday in a box, somebody may want to send, you know, someone something locally or, you know, far away or whatever. And so we've created this because we want to have something for everyone. This is a batch of cookies. Everything is homemade. Nationwide shipping, we talked about that. And I am a package person. Most of us ladies, we love presentation. You know, we go shopping, you know, don't just put my stuff in a regular bag. Put my stuff in the good shopping bag, right? The one with the 2 handles. I want the 2-handle shopping bag. And if it's a store like maybe Ann Taylor or Loft or something like that, put my tissue paper in the bag because I want to walk through the mall cute, right? So presentation is really, really big to me. So, you know, when people, sometimes they send these boxes, maybe like Miss Latrice might send this box to her sister, right? And her sister doesn't know it's coming. But when her sister gets it and she opens this box, she's going to find joy in it before she even knows what it is, because I try to make it look really, really good and nice. Here is my good friend, Lisa Nichols. Lisa Nichols is a motivational speaker. This here was the engagement party for her son. I've done Lisa's birthday party, the cupcakes for her son's engagement and her mom's birthday. So Lisa, you know, always gives me props when I'm at her events or whatever, but we've been friends since high school. So, you know, I got a little inside plug there with Lisa, but she's really, really a great person. She's about to get married too.
Miss Gina, we have
yes.
a question.
Yes,
Do you have corporate packets for the holidays?
Yes, I do. My package is up right now. I'll give you guys the link to it. I'll put it in a chat, actually give you guys the link, and then you can go right there and find it.
Thank you.
When you have a home-based business, there are a lot of tax write-offs. I told you guys I have a tax business, right? There are a lot of tax write-offs. My son and I went on a cruise to Mexico, like the 3-day cruise to Mexico. But you know what? I made that be a work trip because I took my book. I have a children's book, Little Gina Bakes Cupcakes with Mommy. Here I am pictured with these group of girls that I don't know, but they were hanging out at the pool with my son, with their dad. I talked to the dad first and said, do you think that I could get a few pictures with your daughters? He was like, sure. And I gave them a book and we turned this into a business trip. So got some really, really great pictures to go on the website and all that. And the mom, when she found out, she was like ecstatic. She just absolutely loved it. And so now she's connected with me on social media. Here are the cupcakes in a jar, the alternative to the cupcakes being shipped. Here are some bars. I think these are our strawberry bars or raspberry bars, something like that. Kids baking classes. I do kids baking classes. Before pandemic came, actually went into the home, have a couple different packages. These are actually my nieces because every time I have to babysit them, Auntie, can we bake today? So I already know that I have to bake when they come over. So this is one day that we bake, but I do actually do parties with the kids and stuff. The cupcake kit, Little Gina's cupcake kit, we have revamped it. This cupcake kit was where you could DIY it, bake it yourself. Now we have 2 versions because my daughter, who's 24, says, Mommy, you need a second version. I love to listen to the young people because they know what's going on, they know what's out there. So we have the DIY, which is the original version where you get the frosting, the cake mix, and all of that sprinkles in the pan where you can bake it up yourself. You have the same recipe that I'm using, or the newest version, the pre-baked cupcakes. Well, I bake them for you and you still get everything else and you get to decorate, frost, and do all that good stuff yourself. Just sent out one of those to Chicago last week. From daydream to reality. Told you guys I worked for Superior Court for 25 years, but I did this when I worked for Superior Court. So don't think that you have to jump into your, passion and not have your 9-to-5. Your 9-to-5 is your financer, okay? So let that 9-to-5 finance your dream job is what I did for many, many years. This is last slide, I think. I can click it. Oh, there's all my social media. And connect with me on Facebook at Gina's Cuisine Cupcakes, Instagram, Gina's Cupcake, and I have to stress, no S. If you follow Gina's Cupcakes, it won't be me. It won't be someone as great as me. So just Gina's Cupcake on IG, no S, Twitter, LinkedIn, and there is the email. And that's about it. So don't let the pandemic stop you. Do whatever it is that you're great at, make it be your side gig and make some money from it because people out there need exactly what you're great at and what you love.
Thank you so much for this. This is such a great presentation because it shows your wonderful, energetic personality and all of the honest, hard work that you had to put in it, especially when you talked about, even though you didn't have the support, you still went for it. I really admire that and respect that. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me. Thank you guys so much.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you were putting together your business and starting to launch into, say, your marketing and different things like that, do you have any tips that you could share if you happen to be limited on budget and things like that, like in building your website or different things like that, that really are a necessity today?
Absolutely. Websites are not expensive these days. They can be, but they don't have to be. There is a great app called Fiverr. It's spelled Fiverr. Fiverr, you can find anything and everything you need. You can get a logo made. You can get a website built. I think my website cost me about, initially it cost me $150. By the time we were done, it cost me $300 total. But you can get your website up and running for $150. You can get a logo depending on, the version that you want, you can get a logo done for $25. My cousin happened to do my logo. He was in marketing school at the time. And so he did my logo for me. I love it. I've never changed it or anything, but logos change all the time. So if you have something that you don't like, you can always rebrand. It is very important to decide color schemes. What colors do you like? What colors are going to appeal to your market, to whatever it is that you do. It is very important to be on social media. Some people may say, I'm not a social media person. You know what? You have to meet the people where they are. And these days, everyone is there on social media. You may not necessarily have to be out in front of the camera, like I don't mind being, but you have to have a presence to be there. So, Instagram is for every age. Facebook is for every age. Twitter is for, the more mature ages like me. I'm 54, but everybody is on social media. So definitely secure your social media accounts. You want to check to see if the name is available and all that good stuff. But Fiverr is a great, great, great tool to use. And it's an app. It is a free app. And just go check it out. You can get anything done there. T-shirts, cups, anything that you need, you can get there.
Miss Gina, can you spell that again? And I'll put it in the chat. It's F-I-V, like Victor.
Yes, Fiverr.
Great.
Thank you, Miss Gina. Great information. I
Thank
love
you,
your story.
guys. Thank you. Now, I don't know how to stop the share. Let me see. Oh, it says a big red button says stop share. My gosh. There you go.
That's great. Does anyone have any questions for either Miss Regina or Miss Latrice? Any tips or suggestions that popped into your mind during these conversations? This is what's so great, even though these are recorded and will be uploaded to our websites. This is an opportunity for you to ask them directly some questions that maybe they didn't go over. Oh, thank you for sharing that link, Ms. Latrice.
Oh, sure. Nope, no problem.
Thank you also, Ms. Latrice. You were great. Your information is fabulous. Thank you all, ladies, and I appreciate it all.
Thank you. Thank you guys for attending and taking time out on a Monday to be with us and to take in this information. So excited to see you guys launching forward in either if you're starting a business or have a business and looking for ways to take it higher, or working on your budget, creating a budget, revamping the budget, completely starting over, whatever you might be doing. It's our honor to be here. Oh, I see a question for you, Ms. Regina. How much money is needed to get started in a business like yours?
Okay. Yeah, I just saw that question. I started a long time ago, but I already told you I didn't have money to go on a vacation, right? And I didn't have any kids and I didn't have a husband. So it probably, back in the day, it probably cost me like $100, but depending on what you're doing, I started with everything that was already in my pantry. I had flour, I had sugar, I had all these kind of things already at home because I love to cook, I love to bake. So whatever it is that you're doing, don't worry about the money. The money will come. Start small and then you can scale up. Start with whatever you have. Just say if you have $50 and you want to start doing, maybe you want to be a virtual assistant, start doing virtual assistants for one of your family members and, have them to give you a review. Post something that you're working on. This is why social media is key. A lot of times I'm sitting here, this used to be my daughter's room, right? Now it's the office that we get to write off, okay? Because she's gone, she's out of here. But, a lot of times I'm sitting here at my desk and I'll tell my son, Ernest, come take some pictures of me. I'm really working, but I can't take the pictures while I'm working, right? So I'll just post a picture, late. I might post it in the morning, even though I took it last night, early morning working, trying to get the job done. And people say, oh my God, you're up early. Oh my God. And I'm like, this was last night. like this was last night, but I'm just saying, start with whatever you have. Photos is really, really crucial. Video is really, really crucial. I actually have another business, real quick, social media. I handle 2 people's social media accounts. I make those people shine on their Instagram, and all those people think that is them, but it's really me. So there are things you could do behind the background. If you love social media, you love posting and responding and all that kind of stuff, start a social media, ad account, and you can start working for people behind the scenes. Maybe somebody says, I really need to get my business out there, my product, but I don't have the time to be on Facebook, IG, or Twitter, whatever. That's something you can do, and it doesn't cost any money to do that. And it's a really, really good business, especially if you like doing that kind of thing. So whatever money you have, just use that, and you'll work your way up. Don't worry about getting all the bells and whistles and all that kind of stuff. Just use exactly what you have.
That's such a great tip. And I think even in thinking of budgeting, starting where you at, whatever that might be. I know sometimes it's challenging, as we get a chance to touch base with different folks. If, for instance, they might be in debt, or they've got more debt than it's kind of making their head swim a little bit of what can I do? How can I get started? Taking a look at it, being honest about what's actually coming your way, and knowing that you have power. You have whatever money you have, whatever relationships you have with the different creditors that you have, even and especially in this environment. If something is happening, your bills are getting behind, any of that, you still have power. They do have emergency assistance. They do have things that can be done to put a payment behind, and just so many different things to defer a payment. Don't stop talking. Don't stop communicating. Even if you have to take a payment down from, say, $50 to $25, $25 down to $10 to help you to make it through the end of the year, because, say, your job might be coming back online in January. Communicate that. Work with that. Readjust your budget so that you're not just sitting at home feeling stressed. And so I would agree with that. Thank you. There's a great point. Start where you are.
Thank you so much. I would like to ask if you all could put your contact information in our group chat. And if it's okay with you, Ms. Latrice and Ms. Gina, if we could share your information with participants afterwards, so we could share a copy of the video and maybe the contact information. So if questions come up later that you didn't think of, you still have access to these 2 great, amazing resources. So if you put your contact information into the chat group, I can follow up and make sure that you have the information that you need to reach out to these 2 great speakers.
You want them to put it in for everyone, or just to you directly?
Oh, you could put it in into everyone, and I'll go ahead and access it that way.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then if it's okay, Ms. Latrice, I will share your link for the budget module as well.
Yes,
so they
please
can
do.
access that. Thank you.
We'd love that. And any questions that may come up, if there's anything we can answer, or if folks might even like to set up an appointment to come in to the branch. 2 of our branch managers are actually on the call. There's a Spanish call happening at this exact same time, but their office, I want to say, is about 7 miles from the Wooten Center. So right off where the 91 freeway, what is that, Artesia and Western is the closest there. But we do have locations all over, in Lakewood, in Hawthorne, in Manhattan Beach is where Tracy and I work when the world is right-sized. But we do have lots of locations, and we're doing most everything online. And so if you need to have a more of a conversation, we're happy to take that offline and help you with whatever we can.
Ms. Latrice, I do have a question. I have my business account at a bank, and I haven't had a credit union account for a very long time. Do you guys offer business accounts?
We do. So we can get out, I'll get your information and we can have one of our branch managers give you a call.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
So if no one has any other questions right now, again, if you left your contact information, you will get access to ways to reach our two amazing speakers. But I
I see
think,
two questions.
oh,
And
okay.
one
Did I miss
question, I think it went up as we started putting information. Any ideas for teen girls to start a business? And then someone also asked a question about some differences between pros and cons with the different kind of business entities. So LLC versus an S Corp versus an independent contract.
With the LLC, when you start an LLC, you have to know upfront that you have to pay $800 in taxes the following year, whether you make a dime or not. So you may want to talk with someone who helps you to start businesses or whatever, who's specifies in business formation, and find out if you want to go S Corp, if you want to go LLC, if you want to go DBA or whatnot, because LLC is a great thing to have, but you do have to pay $800. The government wants their eight, whether you made 80 cents or $800 or $8,000, they want that $800 every year.
Wow. Wow. Good to know. That might also be a question. Who is that? Shayna? If you have, if your bank or credit union may have a small business division, that could be another good place to reach out to ask them some of the pros and cons. We do have some modules that can address that as well, because definitely getting the right business formation is a good way, definitely a good way to get started. Someone asked a question about jobs for teenagers. I know house sitting on our end, we've had folks house sit. We organization. I mentor a couple of, they're college students now, but we're teens, but just organizing, coming in, organizing, things like that might be a good idea. Pet sitting or walking might be a good idea. And one of the ladies that I sit on a board with in the city of Torrance, her daughter just started a business. And she's making logos and putting logos on masks and making the kind of stickers that go on the flask like these. And so some of her designs, I think it's through Redbubble. That's been a way that she's very artsy. And so that's been a way that she has been able to make some money. Actually, she's making pretty good money. But those teens are buying, she can't keep enough of them because they're really popular. So those might be some good ideas for your teenage daughter.
Any other
Okay.
questions? Do you see another question that I missed, Ms.
I
Latrice?
do. It's one for Miss Regina. It's in regards to same question, follow-up question for Shayna in regards to the business formation options. Which one is cheaper and why? Which one provides the most benefit and the most loss? And then what are the monthly, quarterly? So that might be a side conversation. There's quite a few questions in there.
Okay.
In regards to business, setting up a business, getting it started, and what benefits might be included.
I have a great book that I can share with you guys in regards to business formation. I'll have to put it like in the chat because I have to pull it out for business formation. And then Miss Erica is asking me about the marketing. If you go to, let me give you this website because I have two. If you go to my website, reginachristinecreighton.com, you can schedule a discovery call with me. It's like a 15-minute call, free complimentary call. And then I can go over some marketing things with you at that point, because it's a lot that you could do. And I can't share it all here, but I can offer you that discovery call. So if I can type my name right, GinaChristineCreighton.com, because I don't know about you guys, but I cannot talk and type at the same time. So it's like walking and chewing gum. It's just not possible. If you go to ReginaChristineCreighton.com, you'll see there are a couple different calls there, the text call, the discovery call, and one for the social media correspondent. Just click the discovery call. Again, it's a free 15-minute call. You can schedule that to get on my calendar, and then I can talk about some marketing stuff with you.
That's a great offer.
Thank you so much for all of this wonderful information. I really appreciate it. And I learned so much listening to both of you. Your passion, you both have such amazing passion for what you do. It shows, and it just makes me inspired to like stay and stick to my budget and like get off my butt and start pursuing those things that I keep saying that I need to do, but I don't, like starting a small business or being more active, engaged in life. Like it's really wonderful to have you all here as speakers and parents and giving us this amazing information. Real quick, Miss Regina, do you have the name of the book that you were talking about?
Let me see if I can pull it up one little second.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna tell you guys to smile because I was taking a picture, but I got it without you looking anyway. Because when I tell people that I'm gonna take a picture, like, oh no, don't take it. But I took it already, so guys, I have to have that. Let me see if I can go here and get it. Because I'm not the business formation expert, but let me see. Okay, right here. It's called The ABCs of Starting a Business Guide Through Navigating Through the Maze, and it's by Dr. Cosette White. I will put it here in the chat. I wish I could put a picture. Oh, it's a file you could put there, but I don't have the file. Okay, let me put it right here.
So all of the tips and recommendations I will also include in the email as well. So if you don't capture something tonight, I will be sure I'll go through all of the chat box information and be sure to include all this. So thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Thank you. It's in there. Great. So in the interest of time, I will let any further questions go directly to you all after the presentation. But if you have any last minute tips before we log off to our two speakers, please feel free to jump in. If not, thank you so much again for joining us and sharing this information. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. Pleasure to meet everyone.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.